Now, whenever I post a video about traffic enforcement, and more specifically, speed enforcement, people get all worked up. Here's an example. How fast can I go over the limit before I get a speeding ticket?
Well, speeding is speeding at 1 kilometer over the speed limit.
Okay, what if I'm on a busy highway? It's
You
fast.
can be
Everybody's
pulled over
doing
for
like
any speed over the limit.
Okay, everybody's doing 30 over the limit. Can I still get a ticket?
Yes, you can. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing. You focus on yours driving safe.
What is that thing right there?
That's a directional radar.
So if you're driving, can you see how fast people are going in front of you?
Yes.
If they're driving towards you, can you see how fast?
Yes.
If they're driving away from you, can you see how fast?
Yes.
Do you have one in the back as well?
Yes.
Can you tell how fast people are driving when they're behind you?
Yes.
Thank you, officer.
You're welcome. Drive safe.
I've been posting these for years now, and I bet you if I go through the comments, there'll be thousands and thousands who talk about people driving too slow. And what are the police doing about people who are driving too slow? Or they're in the left lane, which is typically the passing lane or the fast lane. What do police do when somebody's driving too slow in that lane? Now, here's a problem. And this is also why many police officers are very hesitant to lay this charge. And there is a charge, whether it's interfering with traffic. There's a variety of different ways that police can go about this. And listen, if you're a police officer or you work in traffic enforcement or know a thing or two about traffic enforcement, feel free to chime in. It's very difficult to get a conviction for this charge. A lot of JPs, justices, they're very hesitant to convict somebody for this charge, for driving too slow. And the reason is because there's a variety of different ways or reasons that somebody would be driving too slow. And not just on the highway, but any roadway. Generally, the right lane of a freeway is for entering and exiting the traffic flow. It's a staging lane for use at the beginning and the end of your freeway run. The middle lanes are for through traffic, and the left lane is for passing. If you're not passing somebody, you should not be driving in the far left lane. That's fairly easy, crystal clear. But what about when traffic is very heavy? It's rush hour. Well, you already know if you've spent any time in traffic at all that if it's stop and go, nobody's using the far left lane for passing because they're stop and go as well. Everybody's just crawling along. So would you, as a police officer, would you lay that charge at that time? Well, no, you wouldn't. It's because traffic is very, very heavy and you can't go the speed limit. So you're obviously going to be driving too slow. Okay? Now, maybe, I'm going to give another example here. The weather's terribly bad. And this isn't just for passing people driving in the far left lane. Perhaps the weather is really, really bad and it's raining hard. And we all know that when it rains really hard and the windshield wipers are going like crazy, people slow down. Well, there's another example. You as a police officer would not lay the charge for driving too slow if they're driving 80 kilometers an hour in a 100 kilometer an hour zone. But generally, that's another example of why police would not lay that charge. Having said that, I do know that there's people that drive on the highway, drive on the freeway, or just in the streets in general, that probably shouldn't even have driver's licenses. They're nervous. They're actually nervous to get on the highway, to merge, and sometimes, okay, here's a side note. If you're going to merge onto traffic, onto the highway, you don't wait for somebody to let you in generally. That lane, the merging lane, is for you to get up to the speed of traffic, at least the speed limit. You start matching and then you merge. There's people out there, I swear, they come to a stop waiting for somebody to let them in a 100 kilometer hour zone. I'm getting off topic here, but there's kind of another example. They shouldn't even be on the road, or they just don't like the highway in general because they hear of a lot of accidents that taken place, or collisions, I should say, which do take place, and they don't feel comfortable, so they're doing 60 kilometers an hour. Listen, yes, they should get a ticket, obviously, and get off the road. I gave 2 examples of why somebody might not be traveling the speed limit, and even if they were given a ticket, for them to bring that to court and explain that to justice, the JP, if they heard that explanation, there's reasonable doubt there. And listen, I'm sure there's dozens more reasons. Please, if you know some of the reasons, leave a comment. I'm genuinely interested. But there's many reasons why somebody might not be driving the speed limit that actually makes sense. All right, so there's a bit of an explanation. I'm sure some people will accept it and others won't. Have you ever wondered what happens when the police pull you over? You're driving, you see the lights and sirens, you pull to the right. It takes the cops forever just to get to your vehicle. You give them all your information, then they're back in their car. What's taking them so long? What can they find out about you? from the information that you give? What can they find out about you or the vehicle from the license plate? I answer all these questions. I'm linking the video because it's just kind of good to know and it's interesting. Listen, folks, thank you very, very much. I appreciate you paying attention. And until the next video, be safe out there, look after one another, and perhaps we will see you again.